and welcome to attaQ. My name is Jakob, I'm your host, and you're watching a attaQ episode. I'm just gonna remove that little bit there, it's in the way. Right here we have KORG Gadget, and this is Vancouver, the sampler that all of us, well, most of us, a lot of us, have been waiting for a very long time. It's a layering melody sampler. Now, we might not have waited specifically for a layering melody sampler, but Vancouver allows us to play our samples across the keyboard while the samples transpose according to pitch. And this is something we've needed inside Gadget for a very long time. Now, Vancouver will allow you to layer up to 2 samples. And on top of that, it also has an oscillator with 3 waveforms: sine, triangular, and square. Now, Vancouver has a limited amount of control, as with all gadgets, but they're the right type of controls. And so working with Vancouver is really straightforward. And of course, Vancouver will allow you to import your own samples, and you do that through the import menu right here, where you've got access to audio copy paste, Dropbox, and audio share. So what I've done here is I've actually loaded 2 waveform samples that I made using Poison 202, a square waveform and a saw waveform. And then I simply dragged the markers for the sample player to encapsulate just 1 cycle of my waveform. Now, of course, you can load whatever samples you like. For instance, you could use Vancouver to layer 2 kick drums, so you can make something really edgy for your progressive house tracks. The possibilities are endless. So let's go over the controls really quickly here. At the top, we have a portamento setting, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Let me just switch over to the mono setting. And of course, this is the polyphony setting. And with the portamento turned up, next you have the master volume. In the middle here we have the switches for the 2 sampler windows. And in the mix section we can find the volume controls for each of the 2 sample oscillators, including controls for attaQ, release, and switches for sustain. Then we have the sub oscillator with the 3 waveforms, a tune control, and a volume control. Now we're gonna get into the sampler windows. Let's just take care of what's outside here. So to the left here we have the vibrato setting. And what that does, to the right we have the FX menu called Space FX, including various delays and reverb effects. And right down here we have 2 knobs for controlling the effects. One for time and one for depth. Now I'm really liking the Apollo reverb here. Now if we look in the middle, straight under the sampler windows, then we can find the preset list, and here is where you load pre-existing presets, carrying their own factory samples, and here's also where you can save your own. And I'm gonna save this patch, call it Vancouver with a Q lead, and save it. And lastly, in this control area, we have the keyboard with a scaling option, a chord option, and an arpeggiator option. And if you have a KORG Nano Key Studio like I do, then you can actually access the chord mode, the arpeggiator, and scaling through the interface itself, which I think is pretty awesome. And you won't even have to go here. Stay tuned for a full review and tutorial on the KORG Nano Key Studio. Right, so the actual sampler window. So if we look up here, we can see we have a reverse switch, a loop switch. So let's go into the mixer, turn down the levels for sub oscillator and oscillator 2, meaning sampler 2, so we can only hear this one. And now I'm gonna turn the loop off. And as you can hear, there's not much sound coming out of it. Why? Well, because this sample is really short. And so we actually need this to loop to be able to hear it. And if we turn on the loop mode, we have an on and then we have a smooth. And initially I thought that the smooth setting setting would just fade out the edges of the sample, but it actually changes the pitch. Not sure if it's supposed to do that. Next to loop, we have start and length settings. Tap and hold and drag right here, or you can tap and drag right here. And right here is where we switch out our samples. As I said, there are loads of factory samples in here. Since you can use your own, why not do that? And when you import your own samples, they will end up in the user folder. And I'll show you really quickly how easy it is to import samples. Just press import, go to audio share for instance, and then press a sample, and then just press import, and there it is. As you can see, loading a new sample didn't change the start and length settings. And that's pretty much all you need to know about Vancouver. I highly recommend Vancouver, especially if you're a gadget lover like me and you sample a lot. I have been waiting for this for a long time, and I know that a lot of you have too. Down below you can find an app link for KORG Gadget if you haven't got it. I've got loads of videos of KORG Gadget, which you can find a playlist for down in the description and also at the end of this video. Now, if you feel helped by this, or if you like my content, reviews and stuff like that, then why not support my work by joining me on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Now, if you don't want to do Patreon, then you can use the PayPal link to do a one-off donation instead. Now, if you don't want to do Patreon or PayPal, then when buying apps, check out my channel to see if I've made a video review or something for the app you want to purchase, because in the description I always put app links and I'm an Apple affiliate, so when you purchase an app through one of my links, I earn a percentage of that app price you pay. Now, if you don't want to do any of that, then you can always share my videos, press the thumbs up because it really helps with the ratings, comment away in the comment section because I love reading your comments. Also, I'd love to hear which of the gadgets that are your most favorite ones. Now, if you subscribe, then don't forget to press in the little bell thing, because that way you'll get notified whenever I upload a new video. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it.